So full, but it's not a time to sleep. So no, we're not going to sleep this afternoon. So what we're going to do now, we're going to give you pieces of paper. We understand that not everybody is brave enough to ask questions. So we want you to keep those pieces of paper, write your questions down from what we have learned, and even things that are probably troubling you guys, things that you're not able to speak to anybody about. We'll put them in a box and they'll be anonymously asked at the end of the session. If we're not able to answer them, I'm sure at some point in our lives we'll be able to answer them, okay? So the next session, we are going to invite Hassan again to speak about education, and thereafter there will be a creative part, okay?
Hello again, welcome. Right, I've got some questions that I want to ask, and I've got some sweets, right? So if anyone wants to win some sweets, please be ready to answer some of these questions. So I've got a quote. I want us to see if anyone knows who said this quote. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Huh? Hand went up quickly. Go on. No, sorry. Anyone knows where? Yep. Abraham Lincoln? Nope. I'm going to read it again. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Yep. Anyone? Guys, just give it a guess. There's no right. Listen, you can just give it a go. You don't have to get it right. Just try it. Just try it. Yep. Say that again.
Nelson Mandela.
Come give a round of applause. Excellent. Right, come. Well done. There you go. Pick whichever one you like. Yeah, it's Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela. Right, Nelson Mandela. Now, that's a quote that's always stood out for me. Now, there's another quote. I wonder if anyone can guess who said this one. I can't change the world. I can't change the whole world, but I can change the world in front of me. I can't change the whole world, but I can change the world in front of me. Anyone who gets this one right they get two sweets. Two sweets, or they get two choices of sweets.
Abraham Lincoln.
I think you like Abraham. Did you do Abraham Lincoln and history this week? Okay, no, it's not Abraham Lincoln. Anyone else? You can't change the whole world, but you can change the world in front of you. Anyone else want to guess? Anyone want to guess? Mother Teresa? Did you say Mother Teresa? No, it's not. No, it's not. Anyone else? Anyone else want to guess who they think it is? No, just guess. It's no. You never know. Yeah? Sorry? Angela? Oh, Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou. No. I'll give you a clue. The person is in this room. Yes, it's me. Yes, actually, it's me. Yes. Who said that? Who was the first one to say it? All right, okay, fine. Right. I'll give it to everyone then. Right, here you go. No, you're not everything. There you go. Was it? Oh, yeah. All right, well done. Now, yes, that was a quote, but that was actually a quote that was inspired by the quote from Nelson Mandela. And the reason why I usually use that quote for the teachers that I teach. So not only do I teach, I also train teachers as well. I specifically, focus on training teachers in Africa. So I worked in countries like Kenya, Tanzania. I worked in Nigeria as well. And I think one thing I always try to remind young people, my teachers, is, listen, what you do transcends beyond what's in front of you, right? What you do transcends what's in front of you. And sometimes we feel like we need to be able to change the whole world with what we do, but start from the little things. Start from what's in front of you. And what I realized, obviously, for you young people is the main thing that's in front of you right now is being a child and being a student. right? And you need to get that right. You need to get that right. And the reason why I wanted to really elaborate for you guys to be able to understand how our education is so important is to help you understand that you're going through a journey, but you don't know where you're going to end up, right? You're going through a journey, but you don't know where you're going to end up. And wherever you're going to end up is entirely up to what you put in, right? You go through different stages. Most of you will have been through primary school. Is anyone still in primary school? Yep, that's fine, don't worry. Yes, 5, 6. Yes, 6, so you're going to be in big school in September. Fantastic. Now, most of you are therefore in secondary school and you're going through different stages. And what I'm trying to help you explain is the world in front of you right now is where you find yourself, and that's in the school. And I need you all to realize how important education is. So I've got 3 things that I wanted to share with you about education, right? And the first one is education creates transformation, right? And if you want to write that down, and I really believe in people writing things down, education creates transformation, right? Education creates transformation. You can write it down in your paper, you can write it down in your phone. Education creates transformation. Now, how does education create transformation? Does anyone know? How does education create transformation? Anyone wants to share how they think education creates transformation? Right? Any one of the adults wants to share how education creates transformation? Right? I'll tell you. It's basically, there's an input, process, and output. At the moment, a lot of you guys, there's been an input through you all going into school, and you've been decided, and there's someone has sent you to school. Your parents have decided and say, you're going to go to school. And at the moment, your teachers are working vigorously to encourage you to work hard, to do certain things, to learn the curriculum, and potentially you're going to do an exam. And after that exam, what would you get? After your exam, what do you get? Results. And then what can you do with, for example, your GCSE results? Sorry? Say that again? Well, you show your parents, but what can I actually do with my qualification? What can I do with my GCSE results? Sorry? You could get a job? Absolutely. Like, before I became a teacher, I needed to show them that I have GCSE maths and English, that I have passed GCSE maths and English. So yes, get your GCSE will allow you to get a result. But what do people usually use their GCSE to do in this country mainly? A-levels, yep. You're going to go and do your A-levels. And then after you've done your A-level, what are you going to say? Absolutely, you can help you decide which courses you're going to do. You probably will not be able to do subjects that you haven't done very well in your GCSE. Your A-level will be based on what you've got. Just say if you've done very well in maths, you might go out further and do your maths A-level, etc. Now, once you've done your A-level, what else do you need? What else are you able to do? Once you got your A-level results, what can you do? What is available to you to do? Yep, you can ever go to college. They use college in America, but college sixth form is quite the same thing where you do A-levels or vocational courses, but you can ever go to university. What else is the other option you can do if you don't want to go to university? It starts with A. Apprenticeship, excellent. And you could also do an apprenticeship as well. Now, the point I'm trying to make with transformation is you go through a process, right? The process you came in with is not what you leave with, right? Because when you came in year 7 to a school, right, you've gone through, you probably didn't know much. Now, we have a young lady here. What's your name? Sorry? Ayanda. Ayanda is going to be going to secondary school. She's going to be learning a lot of new things. You're going to be doing subjects like history. You're going to be learning geography. You're going to be doing geography, English, maths. There's a lot of things that will be new to you. But the idea is by the time you finish, at the end of year 11, right, you should come out with something better than you came in with. Now, I'm going to give you some kind of lingos that teachers use. And this is where you get the hacks now, right? We call something levels of progress. Do you know how many levels of progress you're expected to make from GCSE, from when you started in year 7 up to year 11? Do you know how many levels of progress you're supposed to make? Do you know how many levels of progress you're supposed to make? 5. you're made to make 5 levels of progress. So if you haven't made 5 levels of progress, by the time you finish in year 11, so just imagine this. If when you started in year 7, you started at a grade 2, right? If you add 4 to grade 2, if you had 5 to 2, what grade do you come out with? 7. So that means you've made 5 levels of progress. That's exactly what we're trying to talk about. So there are data that your teachers will have that they will be able to decide and say, this is where you came in with. If we add value to this young person, they should be able to come out with this, right? And this is something you have to, and that's basically to tell you that there's been a transformation that's occurred. You came in at this level, you're leaving with this particular level. And wherever you leave also creates transformation for where you're going to go to. Every single journey that you guys are going through, every single adults in front of you, I've been through it. I've been through it, yeah. I came to this country when I was year 10, and I did a GCSE, I did the A level, I've been to university, and what I found is every single step that I was taking, there was a transformation that was taking place. I was being made better. Something was getting better in me. I was getting more experience, I was taking more exams, I was learning more, I was reading more, and you have to. Education will transform you. If you're not being transformed via education, something is not working, and you need to begin to think about, what exactly do I need to do to change that, right? And guys, don't be scared to speak to your teachers and say, what level am I working on, right? Your teachers are humans like you, right? I know sometimes teachers are made to seem to be like this, big person, scary person, etc. Listen, if you cut through a teacher's skin, the blood will come out. They are human beings just like you. The same emotions that you go through, they go through it as well. So don't be scared to go and ask them questions. As long as you do it respectfully and you do it in a very courteous way, in a way that will make them feel valued, right? Your teachers cry. They cry. They laugh, they have fun, they do every single thing that you do, your teachers go through as well. So feel free to see them as humans with respect and courtesy. Talk to them and say, sir, miss, what level am I working on now? And what do I need to do to get to the next level? Don't be scared to have these conversations. And good teachers will be happy to support and help you to make progress, right? So if you're feeling like, you got a result and you're disappointed, don't just leave it like that. Go and have a conversation with your teacher and say, this is where I'm working at now, but this is what I know I can do. How can I get there, right? Remembering that education will create a transformation in you. Now, the second one is education is the key, right? And I mean key literally. Now, what do we use keys to do? Yep. Open doors. Now, can someone give me an example of what type of doors education can open for you? Yes. Sorry? Careers such as? You could be a doctor, any other career path that education can open keys for? Anyone? Yeah, you can become a pilot. Yeah. A teacher, yeah, like myself, you can become a teacher. Anything else? Right? Train drivers. You guys do realize that the starting salary for a train driver is £50,000 a year. You do realize that, right? I know they never talk about this at home. Yeah, because our parents, and I'm going to break the chain. Our parents want us to become doctors, engineers, and nurses and things. No, but train drivers' starting salary is £50,000 a year. And you know what's funny about the train drivers? They don't actually even drive the train. The train drives itself. It's just like being a pilot as well. The plane actually drives itself. You know the plane flies itself, right? It's called autopilot. So the pilot just lifts it up, and then once it gets to a certain feet, it puts on the autopilot, and the plane just literally flies itself. Yeah? But obviously, there's a lot of technical skill that's required to be able to do, because if you go into a pilot's cabin and you see all the buttons there's so many things that happens in there. Just the same way with the train as well. The train that you see when you go on the train station, they drive themselves. Right? So the job of the train driver is just to basically make sure that they stare, they stop, they start at the right time, etc. But there are loads of different careers that education can open, and it's not necessarily just being a doctor. It's just not necessarily being an engineer. It's not just necessarily being a lawyer. Those stuff are fantastic, but I'm trying to say to you now, there's nothing being an electrician, right? There's nothing wrong with being an hairdresser. There's nothing wrong with being there's nothing wrong with working with the police, right? At the end of the day, education is not just about going to school and learning about maths, science, and geography, or business studies like I teach, or economics. They are good, but that's not just education is. So there are some education outside of the subjects that you do that would open certain doors for you, right? Being a musician requires education. Do you know what a C flat means? You know what C flat means, don't you? Why is that? Exactly. So, but you're not learning that in school. Do you know what F sharp means? Yeah, because you play the piano, right? But there will be people that are listening to me and saying C flat, F sharp. What are you talking about? G major. What is that? The only reason I know that is because I know a little bit about music. I have an education in music, right? Not education in music. Like, I have a little bit of education in music. So therefore, I'm able to do that. But not everyone knows that, right? There are lots of different things that you learn that prepares you. Does anyone understand what financial literacy means? Financial literacy. Right, yeah. Because they never teach you this in school, right? They never teach you about financial literacy. Financial literacy is about understanding how to manage your money, right? Does anyone do business studies? Yeah, good. So do you guys learn about cash flow? You've learned about cash flow, right? You've learned about profit and loss account. You've learned about starting a business, right? That's basically understanding financial literacy. And I always quite find it interesting. I don't know if any of the parents find this very interesting as well, that you don't learn about things that really matters until you get to year 10. Which is I find it very interesting. You know, if I ever had a school, I would be teaching financial literacy from year 7. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, along with the education that you're receiving in school, you're getting some holistic education, things that are added, like you're building certain skills. And those skills, for example, communication, being able to speak to one another is a skill, right, that you learn via education, right? Being able to problem solve. Like when you guys are doing maths, you're solving a problem. Like maths is about problem solving, like trying to work out a solution to something. Ironically, our church is called Solution Chapel as well, right? Solution. Like that's the thing, you're problem solving, right? And wherever you go, no matter where you go in this life, you're going to find ways to problem solve. You'll find yourself in different parts of the world and you need to be able to solve problem, right? And that's where things like step-by-step algorithm comes into play when you do maths, because maths is all about algorithm. You got to go through a step by step to be able to get to the final answer. And you need that in school. And that's not necessarily going to be something that you're taught explicitly, but it's going to open doors. You will go to interviews where people will say, can you tell us where you've had to solve a problem? Please don't tell them about solving simultaneous equation, right? They don't care about that. They want to hear about real life problems that have occurred, issues that have occurred that you can solve, or that you've been able to overcome with some of the skills that you own or that you have. Do you understand what I'm saying? So remember this, education will open doors. Like there are certain, like when I went into teaching, and let me just share this story. When I went to teaching, when I went to university, actually, let me start from university. When I went to university, I didn't study to be a teacher. I studied business and law at university, right? So I was going to do business. I was going to go into marketing. I was going to get a job, and it was like, and that was it. But I then realized very quickly that when I finished university, I realized it's going to be very hard for me to find a job in business because there were so many people looking for jobs. And I finished university in 2009. Now, those of you that might do economics and business, what happened in 2008, 2009 in the UK or in the world? A global recession, right? A global recession, which means we had an economic downturn. What that meant was there was no job. So I finished university in the thick of the recession. There was no jobs for me, right? So I had to go and find other opportunities. I did a lot of, stuff that I was doing with, I worked for Comic Relief as an intern. I was working for people for free. I had a Saturday job that I was still doing, etc. Now, when it got to a particular point in my life, I had to figure out and say, what exactly am I good at? And one thing I've always done is I've always worked with young people from a very young age. Around the age of 15, I've always worked with young people as a youth coordinator at my church, etc. And I realized that, and honestly, I did not realize where this path was going to take me. But whatever I do it well, and I do it diligently. And one thing I knew is when I served the young people at a very young age, I was doing it very well. We used to organize so many things, organize so many events, etc. And eventually, when I then decided, I came to a crossroad in my life when I turned 25, and I realized that, oh my God, I need to do something. I need to find something I need to do. And I decided, I said, actually, let me go into teaching. Why? Because I already had the idea of what it looks like to work with young people. Even though back then, when I was 15, 16, I didn't realize that teaching was going to be a thing for me. But the thing I was doing then opened doors for me to be able to then say, actually, let me go into teaching because I have the skill to work with young people. As soon as I've made that decision, which is about 10 years ago that I wanted to go into teaching, I've never looked back. And I've literally always gone up and up. And again, like I said to you guys, wherever I find myself, I'm always seen to be set apart from everyone else. And I'm looking like, oh, this guy is different. This teacher here, nah, it works differently and it gets results from young people differently. So remember, whatever you're doing, do it well, do it 10 times better, because you never know what doors are going to be opened for you. The last thing I want to talk to you about education is education. Education is liberation, right? Liberation. Does anyone know what the word liberation mean? What does liberation, what does it mean? Yes? To be free. To be free, right? Some of you are probably thinking, I just need to finish university so I can get out of my mom's house. Yeah, I know. I had those feelings as well. I need to get home. I need to get a job so I can leave home. Yes, I had those feelings as well, right? Education is liberation, but the liberation I want to talk about is actually the freedom that comes with peace of mind, right? If you educate yourself, and remember I'm saying it's not just the academic stuff. It's the holistic stuff. It's the stuff that comes with it. It's the stuff you do at home. Being able to cook and clean is an education. Don't take it for granted, right? My wife loves me because I can cook. Okay, let me put it away. She loves me extra because I can cook. And I could throw it down in the kitchen, and I'm proud to say that. And guys, mandems, there's nothing wrong with being able to cook. There's nothing wrong. If anyone ever make you feel like, yeah, cooking is... No, we're not living in that world where they say only women cook. No, we don't live there anymore. Everyone cooks. And everyone cooks well, right? And there has to be a starter. That's an education. When you get to university, you will find yourself working, you find yourself in a place where there's not a lot of money. You might think you have money, but you don't have a lot of money. And you don't want to be spending your money on fast food. You don't want to spend your money on takeout. You want to cook something, right? Start with just cooking stew. Listen, if you learn how to cook stew, let me just say, I'm Nigerian. If you learn how to cook stew, right, the tomato stew with beef in it, once you can make stew, there's 5 other things that you can make. You can make jollof rice. Just by making stew, you can make jollof rice. You can make beans. You can make porridge. You can make efforiro, spinach stew, yeah? There's so many things you can make just by being able to make one thing. That's education. Being able to cook and clean is an education, right? Like there's a saying that says cleanliness is next to godliness, right? You need to learn to cook. You need to learn to clean, right? You need to learn to clean yourself. Yeah? You want to be clean. You want to smell nice. Yeah? There's not smell. And if you have to buy body spray to smell nice, buy it. If you have to buy a perfume to buy it, it's all part of the education because you want to go out there and make an impression on yourself, right? Education is liberation. Everything that your parents are teaching you, and I'm not saying everything they're teaching you is right, but I like to imagine it is because of the experience that they have in the world that we live in, right? But whatever they're teaching you, in conjunction with the stuff that you're learning at school, will prepare you for the world out there and will prepare you to make you even better than the people around you. Now, I used to make money because I could cook at uni. My friends used to just pay me to cook for them. So there was a little extra money on the side for me, just by being able to cook, right? And if I was to ever decide, and if my wife allows me, I might just decide, let's open a restaurant. Why not? I'm a business studies teacher. I like businesses. Let's open a restaurant. Why? Because I can cook. And there are other things like cleaning. It's a huge lucrative business because everywhere needs to be clean. When you go to school, right? When you go to school in the morning, it's usually clean. Yeah, because someone comes, after you guys have left, someone comes in, a company will come in with their staff to clean the school. And they get paid to do that, right? So all of these skills, like being at home, just being able to, being able to study the Bible, just by studying the Bible, it's just like studying for your exams as well. All of those little things that they might seem not too important, they are very important. Why? Because they're going to liberate you. Education will liberate you. You will find yourself that wherever you go to, as long as you carry education, whatever it is, it will free you up to be a better person, to be a greater person, to be 10 times better than everyone that you see around you. So, what was the first one we talked about in education? What was the first thing we said education does? I can't hear you. Speak louder. Come on, let's put some voice in it. Education creates transformation. And what was the second one? Huh?
Education is key. Is the key. Is the key.
Yes, education is the key. And what's the final one?
Education is liberation.
Okay, now we're going to turn that into a chant, right? Because we need to leave here really understanding this. Guys, whatever type of education you're getting, wherever you're getting it, make sure you're holding onto something and make sure those things will create a transformation. It will open doors for you, and it will also make you free, right? So, education is key. Sorry, let's start with this. Education is the key. Education is the key. Education creates transformation. Education creates transformation. Education is liberation. Education is liberation. Right, we're going to do it again. Now, this time we're going to stand up and we're going to shout it as loud as possible because people need to know that we have learned something today. So everyone stand up. Let's stand up. And we're going to shout as much as you can. If you want to use a microphone, let's shout as much as we can. So, right. So, education is the key. Education is liberation. Education creates transformation. Let's go again. Education is the key. Education creates transformation. Education is liberation. Thank you very much. And please hold on with that as much as you can wherever you go. And remember that wherever you are learning, you're taking an education. And this education will open doors, will create transformation, and will make you free. God bless you all.
Thank you, Hassan. Our next speaker will be Tola. We're going to go into our creative groups now with Tola.
Thank you so much, Shiro. I hope you guys have been enjoying the program so far. Please make use of the paper that you have. Even if you want to cut it in half, write any questions, fold it into a square, and you can give it to Shiro, anonymous. You don't need to write your name on it. If there's anything you really want to ask and you just feel like, I don't feel confident to put my hand up about it, write it on the paper, fold it into a little square, and give it to Shiro, and then we will ask the questions later on and hopefully be able to give you some answers. So now we're going to have a breakout session. It's called Creative Corner, and it's a really fun session, and there are going to be 4 different creative corners. You get to basically pick which corner you want to go to. And in these corners, you're going to use the theme of the conference, Genius, 10 times better, anything that you've learned from today to do something creative. So we have a corner for creative writing and poetry. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, you can go to that corner, and we've got some papers and pens, and we'll have someone around just to assist you with that process as well. We've got a creative corner for art. So if you want to draw something, if that's what you really like and you want to put something on paper that has inspired you about today's program, there's a corner for that. If you're into drama and you've got a play or a sketch that you'd want to come up with that you think will be really fun to inspire us about some of the lessons we've learned today, there's also a corner for you. And if you're into singing or maybe it's dancing and you say, oh, I want to create something along that type of, creative outlet about the theme of today, then there's a corner for that as well. So hopefully you guys can have time to do that. And if you feel comfortable to share it with the rest of the group later on, we'll encourage everyone to do that. If not, that's fine as well. So I'm going to be announcing the corners, and if you can just stand in the corner, stand by me. So if you're interested in doing creative writing, could you please come to this corner? You can just step creative writing, which is poetry or spoken words. If that's something that you'd love to do, then if you're into drama, if you want to do drama, anybody interested in doing drama? Yeah, if you're into drama, you can go to that corner. Yeah. If you want to do the singing one or the music one, music singing, music dance, you can go to that corner over there. Yeah. And then if you want to do art, you can go to that corner. So I'll give you 2 minutes to speak amongst yourselves, okay? And yes, so once again, creative writing is over here, drama, dance, music, and then art. Okay, come on guys, 2 minutes, quick, go. And then I'll tell you where we're gonna be doing each creative corner. Hassan, can you please be, this is drama. So this is creative writing. Could you just start with the creative writing people for now? This is going to be art. Yeah. For drama is over here, please. If you're interested in drama, for the music people, for the dancers, for those who like singing, over there, please. Art over here, please. If you're interested in art. For those who want to do drama, anybody is interested in drama? Nobody for drama. Nobody is interested in drama. Oh, I thought we'd had some budding actors and actresses in here. Okay. So we've got more people. We've got quite a lot of people for arts, isn't it? Does anybody who is in art, because it's a lot there, does anybody who might be interested in drama, maybe? I can swing you over to that. It'll be fun to come up with something creative in that section. Come on, guys, you can do it. And Hassan is there, is going to be supporting the drama team. One-man team. Anybody else? You want to talk to the boys? Come on, guys, let's get some people doing drama. Come on, we can do it. Don't be shy.
Like you said, go first.
Okay. All right. Drama? Yeah? All right.